And welcome back to the program. You're watching Morning Thailand with Phi and Golf. Now, just before we go into, talk about Kun Banhan, there's also another interesting incident that took place yesterday. Now, there has been a report already about Kun Bawan Yasinthorn, who decided to petition pretty much the talking and deliberation of the makeup of the Senate.
Right.
Exactly, in terms of, whether or not the senator should be elected, all elected, or, still like what we are doing is partially elected and some are appointed. Now, Kun Bawan is the coordinator of the group of village volunteer for the protection of three institutions. Actually received a court hearing yesterday and saying that they dismissed this particular petition that asked to rule whether the charter amendment bill seeking to change the makeup of the Senate has contravened the Constitution. Now, this is not the only thing that Kun Bawan would like the court to look at. However, he actually also petitioned to see whether or not all the MPs, as well as senators, as well as everyone who are actually deliberating on this particular case right now should be charged with against trying to construed as seeking to change the structure of the parliament, which that would go against the Constitution as well. Now, that one has been dismissed as well, because obviously they say that after they have taken a look at this particular case, it did not against or violate the section 68 or 291-1 of the Constitution. And at this point, the Constitution Court decided to reject the petition on the grounds that it provide no substantial evidence to support the speculation that the amendments might be intended to topple the country administration through undemocratic means. And Kun Bawan obviously also petitioned against trying to get 6 of the government parties to be dismissed as well as to make sure that all this, pretty much the senators that deliberating right now would actually be get taken out of the table. But at this point, obviously, the court has already ruled that it would not intervene and it has no ground, so they rejected this particular petition.
As long as there is no evidence, the court can do anything. The task left in the hands of the MPs and senators who are still debating inside the parliament chamber for 12 days now.
Yeah, it takes a very long time, and like I said, we spend most of the time talking about different stuff that not even related to whatever on the table. So that makes it a lot harder for us to move forward. So hopefully they will actually wrap this up soon.
Yeah, okay. Now just give you a picture of the incident that happened yesterday with Kun Banhan Silapa Acha, the former Prime Minister who has been appointed as the coordinator of the reform panel. Or
walk into the tiger cave. If you're gonna say in Thai.
Because yesterday he had visited Kun Sonthi Limthongkul and Kun Jamlong Seemeung, Major General Jamlong Seemeung, the former co-leaders of the People's Alliance for Democracy, because Kun Banhan said that he had been willing to invite all parts of the society, even though they are the supporters of the government or the opposing side. So they had invited Kun Sonthi and Kun Jamlong, and it seems that
did they get a warm welcome at least?
You can say that because Kun Sonthi has already preparing the broadcast team because the meeting has been broadcast live on ASTV channel, and there were reporters waiting to film the footage and ask him question later on. Kun Banhan was accompanied by Key Chhat Thai Patana Party member Kun Somsak Pritsana Nantakul and also businessman Kun Sawat Ho Rung Reung. Kun Banhan urged the 2 former yellow shirt leaders to take part in the political reform assembly. He said that it would help strengthen democracy and promote good governance and trust among the public. However, not just turning down the invitation, Major General Jamlong said the country's conflicts actually have been stemmed by the government itself due to the push for the amnesty law, the 2.2 trillion baht infrastructure loan bill, and topped up with the constitutional amendments. So if you want to solve the country's problem, you can solve it by yourself.
Wow.
Not by the political reform panel. And Kun Sonthi said that actually he sympathized Kun Ban-han for having been asked to help the government to cool down the political climate, and he had to travel to talk to everybody.
Yeah, but I think Kun Ban-han was almost like, more than happy to do it at the time. But he doesn't look.
But after yesterday,
he looks very
I wasn't
awkward.
so sure.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because Kun Sonthi had raised so many questions to Kun Ban-han. It was like he was a student in the examination room, one-to-one with the teacher.
Oh.
And those questions, Kun Sonthi asked Kun Ban-han whether he thinks the former Prime Minister Kun Thaksin Shinawat should return to the country and serve his jail term given by the Supreme Court, and whether Kun Ban-han would try to bring Kun Thaksin back. And what does he think about Kun Thaksin's jail sentences? And Kun Ban-han answered that Kun Thaksin, he wasn't sure whether Kun Thaksin wants to come back or not.
Okay.
But he's pretty sure that the sentences given to him was unjust and unfair.
Oh.
That's what he said. The same one that the court handed down the ruling to his party, making him to lose his political position. That's unjust as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the reason. And one of the questions was that Kun Sonthi was asking Kun Ban-han whether he think he was part of the country's problem these days.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because
look at all the questions. Kun Sonthi, now we know that, he's like a very outspoken person, and he's not afraid to speak his mind, obviously. But, I would have thought that they would, perhaps be a little bit easier on Kun Ban-han, but wow, that's awkward.
But the thing is, this meeting was broadcast, so people would know what happened exactly inside this room, because most of the time when there was a meeting or secret talk between various
parties,
personnel. Yeah.
It creates a lot of doubts in a lot of people's minds. So transparency is great, but I'm pretty sure that for Kun Ban-han at the time, this is probably not one of the highlights of moment in his career, obviously, because, like I said, walked into tiger cave. It's almost like you walked unarmed to a tiger cave, and he was being tear off here and there, but the Kun Jamlong and Kun Sonthi looks pretty lively and having a great time, but Kun Ban-han doesn't look like he's having a time of his life at all.
However, he said that even though the two of them returned his proposal or offer, they would come back again, just talk to them and have lunch with them.
That's nice. Well, do you know how long did it take for them to talk?
1 hour.
1 hour. 1 hour of scrutiny. Wow. Broadcasted
However,
live too.
in the afternoon, he even traveled to the National Health Foundation in Jatuchak district to meet with Dr. Pravet Wasi, the senior citizen.
Oh, okay.
And told him the Dr. Pravet already accepted the offer to join in the reform panel. He said that he was ready to support the plan because reform is necessary for Thailand, since the country has faced a lot of difficulties in pushing for reform in various aspects for a long time. So now he got one more veteran critics into the ring.
Okay, that's good. Even though he failed one, at least yesterday he accomplished, another task.
Yes.
But yeah, wow. I feel really bad. Like, this is the first time I've seen the footage. So, the face expression just said it all. Like how difficult it was for Kun Ban-han to be there. But, you got to give it to him. He did try.
I was watching live and I was like, oh, he was pretty. Poor man.
Yeah, it's harsh. All those questions. Like, even, I'm pretty sure if the Prime Minister was there, she's going to find this very difficult too. So good thing that Kun Ban-han was there to give her a hand there. All right, let's take a short break because we have more shocking political related incidents that seems to be in Thai politics quite a bit.
Yes.
But Kun Shane will give us more detail on those, so please stay tuned.